Hi, welcome to Minor League Matters. I'm Ken Lammers, and this is the week's report on unaffiliated baseball or independent baseball. And here's what's going on in those leagues. In the Frontier League, the races are pretty tight at the top, right? I think that the East, after the games tonight, where Lake Erie Crushers I think lost to Joliet 5-4, they are now tied with the Washington Wild Things out of Washington, Pennsylvania, who absolutely destroyed the Traverse City Beach Bums 23-1. That's not something you see even in independent ball very much. Well, maybe in the Pecos League, but not in the Frontier League. It's usually more competitive than that. Out west, though, things are doing pretty well. The Again, we've got a same thing, a tight race, and I think as of tonight, the Southern Illinois Miners have flipped and are half a game above the River City Rascals. River City losing to normal Cornhuskers. They lost, by 5-9, and the Washington Wild Things beat the Florence Freedom, and I don't know what's going on with Florence. There's something in the water in the Cincinnati area, greater Cincinnati area, where nobody's allowed to win baseball games anymore. Florence was my last great hope when I go up to visit family in Cincinnati, that there would be a baseball team I could go to that was doing well. Now there's nobody. Oh well. Anyway, and in pretty close third place, I think Evansville is a couple games back, the Otters, and I think that they are going to make themselves felt before the end of the season. It should be interesting. They are playing tight, pretty good ball, and as long as half the players on the teams don't get grabbed by affiliated balls somehow, I think that it's going to continue to be an interesting season in the Frontier League. The Pecos League is out there going on, and the Pecos League is one of those leagues where I think they're still feeling themselves out. Eventually, they will shake out and I think be much like the Frontier League is. But right now, they're one of those leagues where the pay is dirt, and the scores are always like 11-8 or something along those lines, or 15-7, something like that. They are going pretty gangbusters right now in the Southern Division. The Roswell Invaders are on top. In the Mountain Division, the Alpine Cowboys and the Trinidad Triggers are tied. And in the Pacific Division, the High Desert Yardbirds and the California City Whiptails, it's Whiptails, are tied there too. So Pecos League is ongoing pretty good. It's hard to follow the Pecos League entirely, although they do put their games up in a statistical type of program, but they're not on YouTube or anything like that. Occasionally you can catch Frontier League games on YouTube and that sort of thing. Lake Erie Crushers are really good for this, but Pecos League isn't doing that too much. They're still a pretty young league, and they're figuring it all out. If you're in the zone in the area, I'd recommend going to watch them. But we'll keep trying to keep track of them for you. The Empire League starts on 13th of June 2018, so it's not up and running yet. And we'll try to keep an eye on them when they come back up, get going. The Can-Am League has the Quebec Capitals are one game up on the Sussex County Miners, so that's going pretty well there. And the Pacific Association has the Vallejo Admirals are one game up on the San Rafael Pacifics, but that's still a really early days in that league. They've only played about 6 games, so that's all subject to a lot of change over time, and we'll see how that goes. The two big dogs in independent ball, the Atlantic League and the American Association, are ongoing now. The Atlantic League in the Freedom Division, they've got the Lancaster Barnstormers are 3 games up over the Sugarland Skeeters. Uh, so they've got a fairly solid lead. And in the Liberty division, the Somerset Patriots are 3.5 games up on the Long Island Ducks. They're not too far into the season, but it does seem like things are shaking out pretty solidly as to who's going to win what. And we'll see if there's any major changes. We all know that there are streaks in baseball and how things are done, how things happen. But they do seem, Lancaster and Somerset do seem to have pretty solid leads right now. And for the American Association, probably the biggest dog in independent ball, in their North Division, the St. Paul Saints, probably the most, well, not probably, the most attended, biggest thing in unaffiliated ball. They're up a game and a half over the Gary South Shore Railcats, the one team I've actually seen in the American Association. And in the South, the Sioux City Explorers are 4 games over the Lincoln Salt Dogs, so that seems pretty solid. While the North is right there, there's an ongoing fight. The South seems to have shaken itself out some, and it'll take a bit of a move for Lincoln to actually get anywhere near the Sioux City. So that's it for the unaffiliated or independent leagues that I'm going to cover. And if you like what you saw here today, hit like. If you like what you see around here generally, well, then hit subscribe and go watch things 9 million times, because that's the only way I could ever make money here with YouTube's new rules. If you want, leave comments below. I cannot promise that I will read all the comments because, well, I promise I'll try to read all the comments. I can't promise I will reply to all the comments because I got to work. For some reason, all this wonderfulness isn't paying me a salary. This is a hobby. It's a hobby out of love, but it's a hobby, right? So I got to go make money somewhere, and it does interfere a little bit with this. If you want to contact me directly, you can get me at Twitter at @LammersK, at LA2MSERSK. Send me private messages there if you want, or direct messages, however they say it. All that said, I'm going to leave you with the same piece of advice I always do. If you got a little bit of time and you got a little bit of money, because it's all it takes is a little bit of money, go watch the minor league sports. And y'all have a good week now.